Good morning and welcome to today's 5-minute message. We are going to start Galatians chapter 3 today. We're going to be studying the first 5 verses. But before we get started, let me tell you a little story. Years ago, Monroe Parker was traveling through South Alabama on one of those hot, sultry Alabama days. He stopped at a watermelon stand, picked out a watermelon, and asked the proprietor how much it cost. "It's $1.10, he replied. Parker dug into his pocket, found only a dollar bill, and said, "All I have is this dollar." "That's okay," the proprietor said. I'll trust you for it." "Well, that's mighty nice of you," Parker replied. Then picking up the watermelon, he started to leave. "Hey, where are you going?" said the man behind the counter. "Well, I'm going to go outside to eat my watermelon." "You forgot to give me the dollar." "You said you'd trust me for it," Parker called back. "Yeah, but then I'd trust you for the dime." "Mac," Parker replied, "you weren't going to trust me at all. You were going to take a 10-cent gamble on my integrity." How well do we trust people? How much do we trust God? Do we believe that God is able to do what he says he's going to do? Over the last several weeks, in the first 2 chapters of Galatians, we studied about the authenticity of the apostleship of Paul. Now, in these next 2 chapters of Galatians, we're going to be thinking about the authenticity of justification by faith. Let's read the first 5 verses of chapter 3. "O foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you that you should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Jesus Christ was clearly portrayed among you as crucified? This only I want to learn from you. Did you receive the Spirit by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith? Are you so foolish? Having begun in the Spirit, are you now being made perfect by the flesh? Have you suffered so many things in vain, if indeed it was in vain? Therefore, he who supplies the Spirit to you and works miracles among you, does he do it by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith?" In this section, and for the next couple more weeks, we're going to see that God wants you to trust him for your salvation. There's nothing you can do to gain it or to keep it or anything else. It's all by him. Do you believe that? Or do you believe you had some part in any of this? In these first 5 verses, we're going to see the first of 3 fallacies regarding of trust regarding your salvation. This first fallacy is that of your life. That somehow in your life you are able to do something to keep or maintain or gain your salvation by any means. You have nothing to do with keeping, maintaining, or gaining your salvation. Every single facet or part of your salvation is everything to do with God. You don't have any part of it. You don't have any say in it whatsoever. And he says this, "You foolish Galatians." And actually in the Greek, it's a little heavier than that. He calls them a pretty nasty name. But it's translated nicely, "O foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you that you should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Jesus Christ was clearly portrayed among you as crucified?" It was him that was crucified. He died for you. What part in this did you have? What part did you have in raising him from the dead? What part did you have in bringing him to the earth and to his baby in the first place? You had nothing to do with any of this. "This I want to learn from you. Did you receive the Spirit by works of the law or works of faith?" So when you got saved, is it because you did something great? Are you keeping it because you did something great? Or did you receive the Spirit by faith? I think you got it by faith. "Are you so foolish? Having begun in the Spirit, are you now being made perfect by the flesh?" So if you received it initially by faith, are you keeping it now by works of the law? Why are we changing gears all of a sudden? You received it initially by faith, and now you're going to keep it by faith. There's no part of your life that's going to dictate whether you keep it or not keep it or anything. This is all by faith. You either had the faith to get it or you didn't. And the Spirit is evidence that you did. Have you suffered so many things in vain, if indeed it was in vain? I mean, if this is all for nothing, then you had it for nothing in the first place. Therefore, he who supplies the Spirit to you and works miracles, he does it because of faith, not by anything that you've done or any works of the law. Have a great day.